It is Tuesdays with Tamoa. We are live, we are live, we are live. It's been a beautiful day today. I don't know how your day was. My day was beautiful, it was exciting. Um, I look at it as a game because you never know what in the world is going to pop up in your life. But I choose to look at it from the brighter side, right? No matter what happens, it's still another day that I'm here, that I get to do the thing called life again, that we get to have beautiful experiences and really work on who it is that we want to be every day, because every day we can become greater than we were the day before, even if it's 0.1%. That is a move in the right direction. So I wanted to get on to talk about something that frankly people really don't talk about, right? This, yes, it involves money, of course it does, but it is about abuse, financial abuse in relationships. And this is something that goes on a lot in relationships. I think that there are extremes. I think that people use money to manipulate their relationships, and this is not just relationships involving romantic relationships, marriages. It can be different relationships, but specifically when you're in a partnership with someone or you're married, money is always a hot topic. And again, depending on where the person comes from, what they watched when they grew up, the things they experienced concerning their money mindset, how they look at money, how they do all the things involving money is going to determine how they do all the things involving money in their relationship. So I'm going to read to you the clinical definition of financial abuse in relationships, and then we'll talk about it. So financial abuse is a form of control in which one partner manipulates or restricts the other's access to money and financial independence, creating dependency and imbalance in the relationship. So, when I think of the actual definition, the first thing that comes to mind for me is one partner controlling access to money, right? So, as if the other partner is not an adult, right? Like they can't make their own decisions and they both can't have access to money. So, really withholding a person from being able to literally go to the ATM and get money. Having a spending card where they only are allowed a certain amount of money. Using basically using their power to manipulate how they're running their financial situation, and not doing it as a partnership, but actually attempting to control their partner through financial manipulation. Um, this is something that happens a lot of times, and I definitely believe that this many times happens with the person in the household that may be doing the majority of the contribution when it comes to finances. Um, I remember, like back in the day, like watching older movies where it was like, maybe let's think about like the 1950s, um, where, you had the stay at home mom, the housewife, and the husband went to work, and she would have a certain amount of money to spend. She did not know any bank account numbers. She's never been to the bank, but her name was on financial papers, but she had no idea that what existed. The husband could have had like another house in another country and all kinds of things, right? Well, that's not true partnership. That's not really loving, right? Your partner when it comes to finances. Really, to me, that presents an even bigger issue, because that's an issue about trust, right? That's an issue about communication, trust, really being honest with someone, um, and just an issue with power and control overall. So this goes on today. It just may look different, right? Over time, we may not have the housewife and all of that stuff, but it still can look different. And the thing is, it doesn't have to just be quote unquote a man doing it. There's women that do the same thing. Um, but either way, it is financial abuse in all its worth. Um, the other thing is actually getting accounts in your partner's name without them knowing it. So you're going to want to trust each other when you're in a relationship. Like that is a part of being in a relationship. And so your partner trusts you to do the best thing by them and vice versa. However, getting accounts in your spouse's name or your partner's name without telling them, asking them, this is not something that you all have talked about, that is technically financial abuse. Lying about the situation, um, you know, getting credit cards and using them, and they have no idea what's going on. Like, how is that even fair? My thing is, if that is the case, if you're getting loans and all of these things, then that means you're not even talking about your financial situation at all. Like exactly what are you doing with the money? What's happening with that? The credit cards that you're getting or so on. It is financial abuse, and it is directly linked to an abuse in power when it comes to partnerships. And then the other one that is a big one that people, really don't look at as much is really abuse when it comes to using the money as leverage when there's already actual abuse, whether that's, physical abuse or mental abuse, just really looking at it as a way to use your power of manipulation when it comes to money. So, give you an example. Say someone is being physically abused, right? And then their way to quote unquote make up with their partner would be to buy them gifts or to take them on trips or to do things, buy them expensive jewelry, to do things to quote unquote make up for that. They are using the money to make up for the abuse. So it's like double abuse, right? So you have the actual physical, mental abuse, and then you have the abuse of the money. None of these things clearly are good things, but they happen each and every day. It's just the person that is being manipulated, right, when it comes to financial abuse, is usually not even aware of what's going on. But I do want to say this usually happens in a way where the person that is being abused is someone that has been abused in their life before. And usually that is from a mindset perspective, a mental type of abuse and physical abuse. And the person that is usually doing the abuse can be someone that was abused before, but usually is the person that was always the abuser or the bully prior to getting married. So their mindset is to um let me see how to say this. Really consistently want to be the person that is always in power, and the use of money is actually giving them a rush of feeling like they have more power over their spouse. So when you really think of it, money has been used so much when it comes to people wanting power over other people, whether that has to do with employment, whether that has to do with relationships, that has to do with so many power dynamics in relationships. It could be a parent with a child. It doesn't just have to be love relationships. It can be so many dynamics to that. Like I said, employment. You have an employer that knows that they have power over somebody. If they don't do what they want, then they lose their job, then they lose their income. So all of these things can be tied to money. what I really encourage everybody to do is look at these relationships that they have, their relationship directly with money, and then how the money is related to their other relationships. So it's not a thing of like everybody is consciously being abused in relationships when it comes to money. It is an unconscious thing that is happening. And so if you're married, or you're in a partnership and you all are making financial decisions together where you have commingled your money and it's not, nothing is separate, things are together, then these are things that you really need to look at, because many times the financial manipulation is happening and you don't even know what's happening. It's just an ongoing thing where one partner feels defeated because of the money and the other one doesn't. um, Someone just having all of the access and all of the control and everything when it comes to their finances is not going to help your relationship. It's not going to help your communication. And the only way to really discover if this is happening is to think about all of the things that you guys do when it comes to money and related to money. And also, let me just say this. This is not to bash your partner, right? Is not to be like, "Oh, yeah, I remember when he or she did this or this or this and really they were just trying to manipulate me because of money." No, 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 we're not doing that, right? We are really, really looking at things from a different lens, because we want to improve our relationship. Or maybe you are in a relationship where it is abusive and you never really looked at it, and it's either time to get therapy, um, or work out what it is that you need to work out with each other, because either way, it is no way to live. Some people literally live with so much anxiety and fear when it comes to money around their relationships that it has them sick, that it literally has them sick. And this stems from years and years of having that mindset of fear when it comes to money, seeing whatever happened and there when they were growing up, the thought of lack that was actually happening. You think of like highly dysfunctional things that are happening in households, whether it's drug abuse, substance abuse, alcoholism. All of these things, believe it or not, are tied to money. Depression, people committing suicide. All of these things can be tied to money, but it's not the money, it's the relationship that people have with it. So the power of money, money is not the root of all evil. It is how someone's perception and how they are utilizing the money, how they are taking their perception of money and using their power of what they think is power over another person. So if this is something that you have discovered is happening in your relationship, number one, the first thing I'm going to say is to seek professional help, a therapist, of course. If you have, advisor, like in if you're, in your spiritual community, if it's a pastor, someone like that, I would definitely advise going to talk to that person. Um, but this issue can be such a heated issue. So if it is something that brings up a lot of contention in your household, I would not just go at it without having a third party, to just for both of your emotional safety, um, to really be able to talk about it in a safe environment, because it really is a big deal. And we cannot just continue to not talk about the money, or not talk to our spouses about how not talking about it makes us feel, how they may feel trapped, how they may feel powerless when it comes to money, when it comes to your finances, when it comes to your communication, because it is impacting your lives in such a way that you probably are not even aware. So I do believe that this is something that people can heal from if they want to. they have to they have to actually admit that there is a problem, right? They have to be able to actually see what's going on, see the manipulation, and be able to show accountability for what's going on. And then tap into the reasons why it's happening, and then start working through those reasons, and then developing coping skills through those reasons, so that when you start developing coping skills, it's like a little alarm that gets set in your head when you've discovered the things that you need to do. You'll be like, okay, I need to use this coping skill because I'm not doing what I did before. I need to do something different. So that's what I say, that all of this is something that is changeable. It is not permanent. It doesn't make you a horrible person if you're the one that is, doing the financial manipulation, because it goes beyond that, right? We're talking about trauma. We're talking about so many different things when we're thinking about abuse, right? That comes from a place. So we really have to dig deeper into that to discover how to correct it, how to heal from it, how to not have shame about it. Because trust me, there are so many people on both ends that are experiencing it, and they want to get out, but they don't know how. So I just wanted to let everybody know that there is hope for this. It is not a long term sentence, but the first part of it is actually getting help and understanding that it is an issue, and not just pretending like there's nothing going on. So I want to send everybody so much light and love. Again, especially during the holiday season, please, please, please do not go broke to buy gifts, right? Because you're financially manipulating your own self when you're doing things like that. When you know you don't have the money, when you know that come January, you can't pay your bills, or you're short on this or you're short on that, because you spent so much money at Christmas. And this is not to say don't buy your loved ones gifts, but gifts can have a lower dollar amount. It doesn't have anything to do or equate with how much you love somebody because you spend $100 versus $10. You do what you can do, but really most of us just want the experience of being around each other and connecting with each other. So please remember that during this time of spending. And I'll catch you guys next week. You are your greatest value. You are your greatest asset. Take care.